The alarm blared through the Global Defense Force headquarters. Red lights flashed as men and women in uniform rushed to their stations. Commander Jack Davis ran his hand through his gray hair and took a deep breath. After 20 years of service, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. "Sir, you need to see this," said Lisa Miller, the head of intelligence. Her usually calm face showed worry as she handed him a tablet. On the screen, a group of objects moved toward Earth from beyond Mars. They were not asteroids or any known space junk. They moved with purpose. "How many?" Jack asked. 17 large ships and about 40 smaller ones," Lisa replied. "They're slowing down. They want us to see them coming." Jack nodded. "They're making a statement." He looked at the room full of Earth's best military minds, all watching him. "Alert all nations. But no panic. We need to appear strong." Within hours, the strange fleet reached Earth orbit. They were massive ships, like floating cities of metal and light. The largest one was 3 miles long with strange markings on its hull. It positioned itself above the Atlantic Ocean, where it could be seen from both American and European coasts. The message came on all frequencies and in perfect English. "People of Earth, we are the Dominion. Your world is now under our protection and rule. Your leaders will meet with Lord Vex in 12 hours to discuss terms of your surrender." Jack and Lisa joined the hastily assembled team of Earth representatives, a mixture of military leaders, scientists, and politicians from major nations. They boarded a shuttle to meet the aliens on their flagship. "Remember," Jack told the team as they approached the massive alien ship, "show no fear. These beings crossed space to reach us. They're advanced, but that doesn't mean they're right to claim our world." The shuttle docked with a soft bump. The airlock opened to reveal a long hallway lit with a strange blue light. 2 tall figures waited for them. The aliens stood nearly 7 feet tall. They had pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer like fish scales. Their 4 eyes, 2 large ones and 2 smaller ones above, blinked at different times. They wore what looked like armor but moved like fabric. "Follow," one said simply. Its mouth didn't match the words. Some kind of translator, Jack thought. They were led to a large room with a round table. At the far end sat a larger alien with red markings on its armor. This was clearly Lord Vex. "Earth representatives," Vex said, his voice deep and slow. "I am pleased you have come without trouble." Jack noticed something right away. The aliens moved carefully, as if each step took effort. The air in the room felt thick with extra oxygen, but the gravity seemed standard. Lisa caught his eye. She had noticed too. "Lord Vex," said the United Nations Secretary, "we come to understand why you have entered Earth space unannounced." Vex made a sound like small bells, possibly laughter. "There is no Earth space. There is only Dominion space, which now includes your little world. I have come to inform you of reality, not to ask permission." Jack stepped forward. "Perhaps we can discuss trade instead of surrender. Earth has many resources." "Silence," Vex cut him off. "Your species has barely left its own atmosphere. Your weapons are toys compared to ours. You have no allies. You are alone and helpless." Vex touched a control panel, and a hologram appeared. It showed planets being destroyed, species being enslaved. "The Dominion has conquered hundreds of worlds. Some chose to fight." The hologram showed planets being bombarded from orbit. "They no longer exist." "And those who surrender?" Lisa asked. "They serve," Vex replied simply. "Your people will mine resources, grow food for our armies, and provide workers. In return, we allow you to live." "How generous," Jack said, trying to keep his voice steady. "When do you expect our answer?" "You have 30 Earth days to prepare your people for their new role. After that, we begin resource collection with or without your cooperation." Vex stood up, clearly ending the meeting. But as he did, he grabbed the table for support. Jack saw it clearly. These aliens were struggling with Earth's gravity, And when Vex breathed, his chest moved rapidly, like someone not used to the air. As they were escorted back to their shuttle, Lisa whispered to Jack, "Did you see how they moved? And their reaction times are slow. When you reached for your water, the guard took nearly a full second to react." Jack nodded. "Something's not right. These beings have amazing technology, but physically, they're weak," Lisa finished. Back on Earth, news of the alien ultimatum spread quickly. People panicked. Some rioted. Others prayed. World leaders argued about whether to fight or surrender. In a secure underground facility, Jack and Lisa met with Dr. Alan White, Earth's leading expert on human evolution. "You're right," Dr. White said after hearing their observations. "Based on their movements and breathing patterns, these aliens evolved on a world with much lower gravity and less oxygen than Earth." "How does that help us?" Jack asked. "Their ships can still destroy us from orbit." Dr. White smiled for the first time. "For years, I studied what makes humans unique compared to other Earth species. Our endurance, our adaptability, our ability to survive in almost any climate. We evolved on a harsh world that killed 99% of all species that ever lived here." He pulled up a diagram on his computer. "If these aliens come from a low-gravity, low-oxygen world, then humans would seem like superhumans to them. Our strength, speed, and endurance might be extraordinary by their standards." Lisa leaned forward. "Can we use that?" "Maybe," Dr. White said, "but we need more information, and we need a plan that doesn't involve them bombing us from space." Jack thought for a moment. "Then we play along. We act defeated. We let them think we're helpless while we learn more about them." "And then?" Lisa asked. Jack's eyes hardened. "Then we show them exactly how wrong they are about Earth." As the three of them began forming a plan, the Dominion ships hovered above Earth's major cities like storm clouds. Lord Vex watched through a view screen, already counting the resources this blue planet would provide. He had no idea what was coming. Dr. Alan White's lab was 20 floors underground. The world above might be in panic, but down here, the scientist worked with calm focus. Large screens showed data and images of human DNA next to what little they knew about the aliens. "Look at this," Dr. White said to Jack and Lisa. He pointed to a chart. "Humans evolved on a planet with high gravity compared to most habitable worlds. Our muscles, bones, and hearts developed to work against Earth's pull." Jack crossed his arms. "You're saying we're naturally stronger than them?" "Much stronger, I think," Dr. White nodded. "And that's not all. Earth's atmosphere has more oxygen than many planets. Our lungs evolved to use this rich air. The aliens were breathing fast in your meeting because our air is like being on a mountain peak for them." Lisa studied the screens. "So we have physical advantages, but their ships and weapons are still far beyond ours." "True," Dr. White admitted, "but there's something else interesting." He pulled up new images. "These are scans we took of their ship during your visit. Their technology follows certain patterns. They're advanced in space travel, energy weapons, and shields, but their computer systems seem different." "Different how?" Jack asked. A new voice answered from the doorway. "Their computers are actually behind ours in some ways." They turned to see Dr. Tom Reed, the military's top technology expert. He was a short man with thick glasses and quick movements. "Their communication systems are less secure than ours," Dr. Reed continued. "They use predictable patterns. It's like they never had to worry about hackers or cyberwar. Because they were always the strongest," Lisa realized. "They never needed to hide their signals or protect against attacks." Jack sat down, thinking hard. "So we're physically stronger in Earth conditions, and we might have advantages in certain technologies. Can we use this?" "Maybe," Dr. Reed said. "I've been studying the signals between their ships. With the right team, I think we could create a virus to disrupt their communications. And I know someone perfect for that job," Lisa said. "Kate Brown. She was a hacker before the government recruited her. She's the best coder we have. Jack nodded. Get her here. Now. 3 days later, Kate Brown stood in front of a wall of computers. She was young, with dyed blue hair and fingers that moved across keyboards faster than most people could follow. Their systems are alien, but code is code, she explained to the others. They use quantum communications, but the protocols are simple. Almost arrogant. Can you get into their systems? Jack asked. Kate grinned. Already have. They don't even know I'm watching. And I think I can do more than just watch. While Kate worked on the cyber attack, Jack met with Major Sam Wilson in a large training room. Sam was the leader of Earth's most elite Special Forces team. 12 men and women who had trained together for years. Your team needs to prepare for something new, Jack told Sam. Fighting in alien ships, possibly in different gravity. Sam, a tall woman with short black hair and serious eyes, nodded. What about weapons? We'll use theirs if possible, Jack replied. We need to train your people to move quickly, exploit the aliens' weakness in our gravity, and use whatever you find on their ships. My team can adapt, Sam said confidently. But how do we get on their ships in the first place? Jack smiled grimly. We're going to let them capture us. Over the next weeks, as the Dominion deadline grew closer, Earth worked on 2 plans at once. On the surface, world leaders appeared to argue and panic. News reports showed people preparing for surrender. But underground, Operation Trojan took shape. Sam's team trained day and night in simulated alien environments. They practiced moving in lower gravity, fighting with alien weapon mock-ups, and working in the dark. The aliens are used to being stronger than everyone they meet, Sam told her team. They won't expect humans to be able to overpower them. We'll use that surprise. Meanwhile, Kate and her team of computer experts built their virus. They called it Hercules, a small piece of code that could grow to massive strength once inside the alien systems. It will spread through their communication network, Kate explained to Jack and Lisa. When we activate it, it will send false orders, shut down weapons, and open doors. For about 20 minutes, their ships will be in chaos. 20 minutes isn't long, Jack said, concerned. It's all we'll get before they adapt, Kate replied. But it should be enough time for Sam's team to take control of at least one ship. On the 27th day, with only 3 days left before the Dominion's deadline, Jack called all the team leaders together. Tomorrow, we make our move, he told them. Dr. White has made these. He held up what looked like small metal buttons. These are quantum transmitters. Kate can use them to activate Hercules once you're aboard their ships. Sam took one and examined it. How do we get these on board? I'll be leading a delegation to discuss surrender terms, Jack explained. We'll have these hidden on us. Once on their command ship, we'll plant them where Kate can access their systems. And if they search you? Dr. Reed asked. These are made with elements not found on Earth, Jack replied. Their scanners won't recognize them as technology. Lisa stepped forward. There's something else you should know. Our deep space radar has detected more Dominion ships heading this way. If we don't stop this first fleet, Earth will face an even larger invasion force in about 3 months. The room grew quiet as everyone absorbed this news. Then we have no choice, Jack said firmly. We stop them now, with what we have. That night, as final preparations were made, Jack stood alone looking at a map of Earth. All those cities, all those people who didn't know what tomorrow would bring. Would their plan be enough, or would Earth become just another conquered world? A hand touched his shoulder. It was Lisa. We'll succeed, she said quietly. They thought they found a weak, helpless planet, but they found humans instead. Jack nodded, his resolve strengthening. Tomorrow, they'd learn exactly what that means. Across the solar system, aboard his command ship, Lord Vex received reports of Earth's apparent preparations for surrender. He smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. Another world falls to the Dominion, he told his officers. Prepare the harvesting ships. The aliens had no idea that Earth was about to show its true strength. The morning of the counterattack arrived with a red sunrise. Jack Davis adjusted his formal uniform and looked at the small team beside him. Lisa Miller wore a simple black suit, hiding several of the quantum transmitters in her pockets. 4 other officials, all actually members of Sam Wilson's Special Forces team, stood ready. "Remember," Jack told them quietly, "act defeated. Broken. They need to believe we're coming to surrender." Their shuttle rose through the clouds toward the massive Dominion command ship. Jack watched Earth grow smaller below them. So much depended on the next few hours. Inside the underground command center, Kate Brown's fingers flew across her keyboard. Screens around her showed the status of the Hercules virus, ready to deploy the moment Lisa planted the transmitters. "Connection to shuttle stable," Kate reported to Dr. Reed, waiting for the signal. Major Sam Wilson and the remaining 7 members of her team waited in a second shuttle, hidden behind a small moon. They wore black combat suits designed for maximum movement. "Team 2 ready," Sam radioed to Earth, waiting for Jack's signal. The first shuttle docked with the Dominion command ship. As before, alien guards met them in the airlock. Jack noted how the aliens' 4 eyes blinked in sequence, how their breathing seemed rapid in Earth's oxygen mixture that had been pumped into their ship for the human visitors. "Follow," said one guard, just as before. They were led through long corridors of metal and strange glowing materials. Jack memorized every turn, every door. Lisa walked with her head down, playing the part of the defeated while her eyes missed nothing. This time, they were taken to a much larger room. Lord Vex sat on what looked like a throne, surrounded by at least 20 lesser aliens in military dress. "Commander Davis," Vex said, his voice echoing in the large space, "have you come to accept the Dominion's generous terms?" Jack stepped forward and bowed his head slightly. "Lord Vex, Earth's leaders have considered our options. We wish to discuss the details of our surrender." Vex made that bell-like laughing sound again. "There are no details to discuss. You submit completely or face destruction." "Of course," Jack said, keeping his voice humble, "but we need to understand our role. How many workers will you need? What resources are most valuable to the Dominion?" As Jack kept Vex talking, Lisa slowly moved around the room, pretending to study a wall decoration. She pressed one of the small transmitters against the wall where it stuck like a tiny metal beetle. Near a control panel, she placed another. "Your questions are tedious," Vex finally said. "You will provide whatever the Dominion demands, whenever we demand it." He waved a long-fingered hand dismissively. "Take them to the holding room while I prepare the formal surrender broadcast." As planned, the guards led Jack's team to a smaller room with a table and chairs. Once the doors closed, Jack tapped a pattern on his wrist device. 3 short, 2 long. The signal to Sam's team. In the command center on Earth, Kate saw the transmitters come online. "I've got connection," she shouted, launching Hercules. Now, her virus shot through the quantum link, spreading instantly through the alien ship systems. Warning lights began flashing throughout the Dominion vessel. "What is happening?" demanded an alien officer on the bridge. Before anyone could answer, the ship's artificial gravity fluctuated wildly. For the aliens, already struggling with Earth normal gravity, the sudden increase was crippling. Many fell to their knees. In the holding room, Jack and his team felt the gravity shift. "Now," he ordered. The 4 disguised soldiers attacked the guards. What would have been an even fight on the aliens' homeworld was no contest in Earth-like gravity. The guards moved slowly, their muscles straining against a pull they weren't evolved to resist. The humans, by contrast, moved like lightning. Within seconds, the guards were unconscious, and the team had their weapons, strange rifle-like devices that fired energy pulses. "Lisa, stay here and keep planting transmitters," Jack ordered. "We're heading for the bridge." Meanwhile, Kate's virus raced through the Dominion fleet. Ship communications went dark. Navigation systems showed false readings. Weapons targeting failed. In the chaos, Sam Wilson's shuttle approached the command ship undetected. They docked at a maintenance airlock that Kate had unlocked remotely. "We're in," Sam reported, moving to engineering. On the bridge of the command ship, Lord Vex raged. "What is happening? Restore communications." A junior officer stumbled toward him, fighting the increased gravity. "Lord, all systems are compromised. We've lost contact with the fleet." "Impossible," Vex shouted. "These primitives can't." The bridge doors slid open. Jack and his 3 soldiers rushed in, alien weapons raised. "Actually, we can," Jack said. The bridge crew reached for weapons, but moved as if underwater. Jack's team fired precisely, hitting control panels rather than aliens. Sparks flew as more systems failed. Vex stood, his face contorted with rage and effort against the gravity. "You dare," he hissed. "We dare," Jack replied, aiming his weapon at Vex's chest. "Now order your fleet to stand down, or we'll see how well your species does in even higher gravity." Across the solar system, the Dominion fleet drifted in confusion. Some ships collided as navigation failed. Others fired at phantom targets created by Kate's virus. On Earth, hidden installations powered up. These were humanity's secret weapons, reverse-engineered from a crashed alien scout ship found decades ago and kept hidden even from most humans. Giant electromagnetic pulse generators aimed at the smaller Dominion ships. Gravity manipulation devices, similar to what the aliens used but modified by humans, created distortion fields around others. In the command ship's engineering section, Sam's team secured the main power core. "Engineering is ours," she reported to Jack. "We can shut down life support if needed." Jack nodded grimly at Vex. "Your fleet is disabled. Your command ship is captured. Earth is not surrendering today." Vex stared in shock. "How? You're primitives. You barely leave your atmosphere." "We let you think that," Jack said. "We let you think we were weak. But humans have one advantage you never considered." "What advantage?" Vex asked, his voice no longer confident. Jack smiled. "We evolved on the most dangerous planet you've ever encountered. And that made us stronger than you could imagine." Outside the viewports, they could see Dominion ships losing altitude, some crashing into the ocean as Earth's hidden weapons took their toll. Lisa's voice came through Jack's communicator. "All transmitters placed. Kate has control of the entire command network." "Good," Jack said. He turned back to Vex. "Now let's discuss the terms of your surrender." The alien commander could only stare in disbelief at the humans who had just turned his invasion into a stunning defeat. The counterattack had worked. Now Earth needed to prepare for what would come next. Lord Vex stood surrounded by human soldiers on his own bridge. He had never known such shame, but he was not ready to admit defeat. "You may have surprised us," he said to Jack, "but this is far from over. The Dominion does not lose wars." Jack watched as the alien pressed a hidden button on his armor. "What did you just do?" Vex's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "I ordered our ground forces to deploy. Even now, thousands of our warriors descend to your cities. They wear battle suits that will compensate for your gravity. They carry weapons that can level buildings. On the screens around them, they could see hundreds of smaller ships breaking away from the main fleet. These ships had been shielded from Kate's virus by separate systems. Landing craft, Lisa said, her voice tight with concern. Jack immediately activated his communicator. "Kate, can you stop those smaller ships?" Kate's voice came back stressed but determined. "Working on it, but they're on isolated systems. I need time." "Time we don't have," Jack replied. He turned to Lisa. "Alert all Earth Defense Forces. The ground war is starting." Across the globe, Dominion landing craft broke through the clouds. They touched down in major cities: New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, Tokyo. Ramps opened, and alien soldiers marched out wearing powered armor suits that made them look twice their normal size. In New York, Lieutenant Mike Torres led a small unit of 30 soldiers. They had been prepared for this possibility. They hid in buildings around Times Square where a Dominion ship had landed. "Remember your training," Mike told his people over the radio. "They're stronger in those suits, but the suits have weaknesses. Aim for the joints and power sources." The aliens moved through the streets, firing energy weapons that turned cars into melted metal. They expected terrified civilians, easy conquest. Instead, they found empty streets. The people had been evacuated days before. From windows and rooftops, Mike's soldiers opened fire. They used special EMP rifles developed by Dr. Reed, weapons designed to short-circuit the alien suits. "Focus fire on the lead alien," Mike ordered. 20 rifles fired at once. The alien suit sparked, then froze in mid-step. The creature inside struggled but couldn't move. The other aliens turned toward the attack, but they were slow to react. Before they could locate all the human positions, 5 more of their suits failed. "Move to Phase 2, Mike ordered. His soldiers threw small devices that looked like tennis balls toward the aliens. These bounced along the ground, then burst into clouds of thick smoke. To human eyes, this was ordinary smoke, but it contained particles specifically designed to block the aliens' vision spectrum. Blind, and with many of their suits failing, the aliens still outnumbered the humans. They fired wildly into buildings. Mike and his team used the confusion to change positions. They understood urban fighting in ways the aliens didn't. They used sewers and building connections to flank the invaders. "Now," Mike yelled. His soldiers emerged from new positions, catching the aliens by surprise again. More suits failed under the EMP barrage. The remaining aliens, desperate now, switched to hand weapons and charged the nearest human position. This was exactly what Mike had hoped for. Without their suits, the aliens found themselves fighting humans in Earth gravity. The battle quickly turned to hand-to-hand combat. And here, the difference was dramatic. Mike watched as one of his soldiers, a woman half the size of an alien, easily threw her attacker over her shoulder. Another soldier took hits from an alien that would have broken bones on the alien's world, but merely bruised the human. Across the globe, this scene repeated. In Beijing, local forces disabled the alien suits, then swarmed the helpless invaders. In London, police officers found they could outrun and overpower the aliens. In Moscow, civilians joined soldiers in pushing back the attackers. On the Dominion command ship, Jack watched the reports come in with growing hope. "We're winning the ground battles," he told Vex. "Your soldiers can't fight effectively on our world." Vex hissed in anger. "This is not possible. We study your weapons, your technology. We should be unstoppable." "You studied our technology," Lisa said, "but you didn't study us. Humans evolved over millions of years to survive on a planet that tried to kill us at every turn. We adapted. We endured. We're stronger than we look." Meanwhile, Sam's team worked to secure more of the command ship. They fought their way to the communications center, where they began broadcasting false orders to the landing parties. "Dominion forces, retreat to landing zone 4, Sam transmitted, using the aliens' own communication systems. The message went out in the Dominion language, thanks to the translation software Kate had developed. Confused aliens across New York began moving to what they thought was a rally point. Instead, they walked into an ambush. In the ship's engineering section, Sam's technical expert found a way to access the fleet's weapons controls. "I can disable their orbital weapons," she told Sam. "But I need time." "How much time?" Sam asked. 10 minutes. Sam nodded. "We'll hold this position. Get it done." On the bridge, Vex received an urgent message from his second-in-command. "Lord, our ground forces report confusion and heavy resistance. The humans are much stronger than our intelligence suggested, and someone is broadcasting false orders on our secure channels." Vex looked at Jack with new understanding. "You planned for this all along." Jack nodded. "From the moment you arrived. We knew we couldn't match your ships or weapons, so we let you think we were beaten. We let you come down to fight us face to face, and now you're learning what happens when you underestimate humans." Vex's 4 eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of distress in his species. "I still have one option left." He pressed another control on his armor. "I have just ordered the remaining ships to begin orbital bombardment. If we cannot have your world, no one will." Jack felt cold fear run through him. This was the one thing they hadn't fully prepared for. He hit his communicator. "Kate, Vex has ordered bombardment. Can you stop it?" Kate's voice came back, strained but determined. "Working on it. Dr. White is activating the quantum disruptor now." Deep under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. White stood before a massive device built from the combined knowledge of Earth's best scientists. It was their last resort. A quantum communication disruptor that could sever the connection between the Dominion ships. "Activating now," Dr. White said as he pressed the final sequence. The machine hummed to life, sending invisible waves across Earth's orbit. One by one, the Dominion ships lost contact with each other and their command ship. Vex watched in horror as the screens on the bridge went dark. "What have you done?" Jack smiled grimly. "We've shown you that Earth is never helpless. Now, about those surrender terms. 1 week after the failed invasion, Earth looked different. Damaged Dominion ships sat in fields and oceans, being studied by eager human scientists. In New York, London, and other cities, cleanup crews worked to repair the limited damage from the ground battles. In Washington, D.C., inside a heavily guarded building, Jack Davis and Lisa Miller prepared for another meeting with Lord Vex. This time, the meeting would be on Earth's terms. "Are you ready for this?" Lisa asked Jack as they walked toward the conference room. Jack straightened his uniform. "As ready as I'll ever be." It's not every day you negotiate with an alien empire. The conference room had large windows overlooking the city. Sunlight poured in, making the room bright and warm. 6 human leaders sat at one side of the long table, representing Earth's major nations and military forces. The door opened, and Lord Vex entered with 3 other aliens. They moved carefully in Earth's gravity, which they now understood was much stronger than their home world. Without their technology advantage, they seemed smaller, less threatening. "Lord Vex," Jack said, not standing. "Please be seated." Vex sat slowly, his pride clearly wounded. "Commander Davis, I am here to discuss terms as you requested." "Good," Jack replied. "First, let me introduce Dr. Alan White, who has something interesting to share." Dr. White stood and activated a large screen on the wall. It showed images of Earth's long history. "Lord Vex, we've studied your technology and your biology," Dr. White began, "and we've made some fascinating discoveries. Your species evolved on a world with 1/3 of Earth's gravity and much less oxygen. Your planet had few predators or natural disasters." White showed more images, early humans fighting for survival, adapting to ice ages, surviving volcanic eruptions, and meteor impacts. Humans, by contrast, evolved on a world that tried to kill us at every turn. We survived ice ages, massive volcanic eruptions, meteor impacts, and countless predators. We adapted. We grew stronger. Our bodies became efficient at using oxygen. Our muscles developed to work in high gravity. Our minds evolved to solve problems and innovate. Vex watched the screen, his 4 eyes blinking in different patterns. "This explains much about your unexpected strength. But what is your point?" Dr. White continued. "The Dominion became powerful through technology, not evolution. You found easy worlds to conquer, but Earth was never going to be an easy conquest." Jack took over. "Which brings us to our terms. We will not join the Dominion as a conquered world. Instead, we propose an alliance." Vex made a sharp sound, surprise in his language. "Alliance? After we try to conquer you?" "Yes," Jack said simply. "We've studied your empire. You've grown complacent. You haven't faced real challenges in centuries. That's why we were able to defeat your forces so easily. And why would we ally with you?" Vex asked, his voice less confident than before. Lisa spoke up. Because we have things you need, and you have things we need. She activated another screen, showing human innovations the aliens hadn't seen before. Humans think differently than your species. We solve problems in ways you haven't considered. Our computer security, our encryption methods, our biological adaptations, all these could strengthen the Dominion. And in return, Vex asked. Faster than light travel, Jack said. Energy production methods. Access to the wider galaxy. Vex was silent for a long moment. Then he said something surprising. We've never been defeated before. Not in 500 years of conquest. There's a first time for everything, Jack replied. The question is, what will you learn from this defeat? 3 days of negotiations followed. The aliens were tough, but fair once they accepted their position. Earth would not supply slaves or unlimited resources. Instead, they would exchange technology, knowledge, and eventually, once trust was built, people, scientists, diplomats, and explorers. As the talks proceeded, Dr. White made another discovery. Look at this, he told Jack and Lisa one evening, showing them genetic data on a screen. The Dominion has conquered over 200 worlds, but most of those species share similar evolutionary backgrounds, low-gravity worlds, stable climates. So humans really are unique? Lisa asked. In their experience, yes, Dr. White replied. We're the first high-gravity, high-oxygen species they've encountered. They simply had no frame of reference for what we could do. On the final day of negotiations, Vex made an unexpected offer. The Galactic Council meets in 1 month, he told Jack. Earth should send representatives. Jack looked surprised. You want us at the council. Why? Because, Vex said, his voice carrying a new respect, the galaxy should know about Earth. About humans. There are threats beyond the Dominion. Enemies, even we fear. The galaxy needs what humans can offer. 1 month later, Jack stood with Lisa and Dr. White aboard a modified Dominion ship. Earth grew smaller below them as they accelerated toward the stars. For the first time, humans were traveling faster than light. Hard to believe a month ago they were trying to conquer us, Lisa said, watching Earth disappear from view. And now we're going to represent Earth at a council of alien species, Dr. White added, his eyes wide with excitement. Jack looked at the stars ahead. Vex told me something interesting yesterday. He said there are 17 major powers in the galaxy. Most have been stable for thousands of years. They've grown comfortable, set in their ways. And now here come humans, Lisa said with a small smile. Adaptable, innovative, stronger than we look. Exactly, Jack replied. We're going to change everything for them. The ship jumped to faster than light speed, carrying the first humans beyond their solar system. Earth was no longer alone, no longer isolated. And the galaxy would soon learn what the Dominion had discovered the hard way, that the third planet from an ordinary yellow star had produced something extraordinary, humans. As they approached the massive space station where the Galactic Council met, Jack prepared his opening words carefully. He would tell the assembled representatives of 17 galactic powers about Earth, about humanity's long journey, about their unexpected strength and endless adaptability. He would begin with the same message he had given Vex. We come seeking friends, not subjects. But make no mistake, Earth is never helpless. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The end.